We started.
Now we're starting.
Have we started?
Are we
We
on?
have started. We're live. Hey guys. We got a couple minutes here, but I'm Dave. This is Josie. Josie's going to be my subject to train this morning. But I'm looking forward to having everybody here. Again, we're 5 minutes early or so. If you have questions, feel free to add them in the comments. Carly, our wonderful photographer, she'll make sure that those questions get to us. So, can you see the comments, Carly?
Yes, I can.
Carly can see the comments. So, hopefully, you'll be able to hear with the traffic going by. We are out in front of the store. This is where we normally do these, so we thought we would just kind of congregate here this morning. Congregate, 3 people, okay? So we're not breaking the 10 rule. So there's just a couple of us here, and we're looking forward to bringing you some really good information this morning. So hopefully we'll get started here in just a few minutes. So we're just going to kill some time. So one of the things I did want to mention, we have our website is up. We've had a website up for a while, but we've got our web store finally completed. We're continuing to add more and more things, but our web store is available. If you don't feel comfortable getting out and you want to just have something delivered to your home, we can handle that for you. We can either do the delivery ourselves, or we can just mail it, or UPS, or whatever. So whether you're in the area or you're out of state, we'd be more than happy to send you some great natural running shoes. So
With free shipping.
With free shipping, thank you to my lovely assistant Vanna White over here. Yes. So, what else do we have going on? We'll have weekly posts. I was hoping this is my social media coordinator, so we will have posts coming out all the time about what's going on with the store in regard to the virus and everything else. We are going to be cutting our hours a little shorter this week, but I will be in the store because of fulfilling orders that are coming online and this type thing. If it is a must and you must stop by, bring a mask, wash your hands, do all the necessary things you need to do, so we can be safe and we can kick this thing's butt and we can get back to living the way we live here in America. So, yeah. Anything else, Justin, you can think of?
Stay safe.
Stay safe. So Josie and Carly are just glad to get out of the house this morning. And what did you say?
Yeah. We've been stuck in the house for a couple weeks now.
You may want to speak up today.
Been stuck in the house for a couple weeks now. It's tiring, exhausting.
So this is a good thing to do, though. Josie also mentioned that she's been riding her bike a lot with her dad, and so getting out and getting some exercise and some fitness in is very, very important. So you want to make sure that you're making that happen. As far as our running is concerned, what we're going to teach this morning is going to help you run more. It's going to help you enjoy running, and that's our goal. It's not that you have to take everything from this and incorporate it. It's just the fact that if anything here helps you run better, run more efficiently, run where it doesn't hurt as much, it's a win for everybody. So that's our goal. That's our point in teaching this. And quite honestly, I've kind of made this into my own. There are different kinds of natural running forms out there, or different things that people teach. So again, take the good, take the things that are going to make a difference for you individually, and we'll make that work out. So it is just about straight up 10 o'clock. We got some people on. Okay, we got some people on. Great. Glad that you are with us this morning. We are looking forward to helping you improve your running and how everything works with your running. So I'm going to start with Josie. And this only should last, guys, maybe about 15, 20 minutes. So it's not a real long, drawn-out thing because we're just mainly teaching you the basics of what to do with your running form. So there's 3 P's that I teach, and the first one is one of the most important. We're going to spend a pretty good amount of time on, and it's posture. Okay, so our posture, Josie, if you would like to turn and yep. So our posture, the goal of our posture is we want to have our shoulder, our hip, and when I say hip, it's your hip joint. So it's this joint that you have, nope, not there, right here. Yep, it's your hip joint. Yep, and yes. So you want your shoulder, your hip, and your ankle in a nice straight line. The way we accomplish that, and we'll start at Josie's feet, is you want your feet about a fist width apart. And then moving up, you want to have your hips more underneath you and not with your rear end stuck out and back. So you want that to be kind of pivoted underneath you to where your shoulder, your hip, and your ankle is in a straight line, and she is, right? So that's a very important aspect. One thing that I have found with myself is a lot of times I'll over correct, right? And so I'll have my hips way forward, and if I look down, I can't see my shoestrings. I know that my hips are way too far forward, right? So I want to have this push back like you're pushing back a chest of drawers, right? And you're making sure that your hips are underneath you. Your core is tight. That's the key, is having your core tight. So you want a nice tight core. You want your hips underneath you, and you want to feel this cable coming out of the top of your head, right? You want to feel like somebody's stretching you up good and tall, and as you do that, you're going to engage your core, right? Mm-hmm. Josie was teasing earlier. She said, if there's one thing I'm getting out of this quarantine, it's good abs. Not a bad thing, right? Got to have strong abs, right? So your core is going to hold your hips in a good position underneath you, and so that's what's important. So Josie's got a very good straight line here. Now, one thing that you can do, you can practice your running. How many of y'all been to Walmart lately or grocery store or anything like that? Yeah, the lines are ridiculous. So as you're standing, you can go into a one-legged stance, right? So without having your legs locked out, right? Don't have your knee locked out. Yep. And you can go into a one-legged stand. You're practicing your running while you're doing this. How do we know that? Because it's that landing phase that you want to be strong in. So when you land and you hit the ground, you want to be really strong. You want to be really solid in that position, right? So just practice doing that. Be in a good posture, shoulder, hip, ankle still in good alignment, but you're on one foot. You're practicing that landing phase as you are running, right? And so that's a very good exercise to do. It can help strengthen a lot of those intrinsic and voluntary muscles in your lower legs, and really gives you a good foundation for when you run and what it feels like to hit that landing nice and solid, right? I always do it on my right leg because that's my stronger leg, but my left is getting better. So that's the posture. If you have any questions about posture or anything, please just type them into the chat area there, and we will get to those as they come in. So the next part. Go on this side. So the next part is we're going to practice our pivot point. That's the second P. So we've got our posture, now we've got our pivot point. And so Josie's over here in front of the wall. You don't want to stand too far back from the wall. You want to be up about a foot length, a foot length back from the wall. You don't want to be too close, you don't want to be too far back, right? And so good posture, and then she wants to place her hands on the wall, and that pivot point is going to be at the ankles. And so it is a lean, but the pivot point is the key. We're not leaning from the waist, she's leaning from the ankles. She's pivoting from the ankles. Why is this important? We want to keep this good, straight, tall posture as we're leaning forward. We don't want it to break here at the waist, right? So what we want to do is come up straight, Josie. Now place your hands on the wall. And now lean forward just a tad, right there. That's good. Y'all see her lean? It was just a little. It was just a really small lean. Now she's going to move her hands and fall forward. Yes. Yes. Never had anyone to break a nose yet. That was close. All right. So what we want to do is we want to practice just falling forward, and then we want to go to 1 foot, like we were doing a minute ago, and do the same thing. Just a slight lean forward, and then make sure you're falling forward. Okay? This is a controlled fall forward type of running form, if you will, because gravity is a downward force. It's pulling us down, but if we lean into it, it's going to take us forward, right? So we want to have that momentum, if you will, of us going forward, right? So good. All right. So that's what you can practice. You can kind of get a feel of that, being on 1 foot and still doing that. That way you get an idea of what it's actually going to feel like when you're running. The key is keep that posture good and strong. Keep that core nice and tight so you're not feeling that tendency to bend over at the waist. If you're feeling some back pressure, you probably need to strengthen some core muscles. I'll figure out a way to add some of those strengthening exercises to this thread, this feed, and that way you can maybe print those out. If we can do PDF? Okay, so we can put the PDF files on there, and we can have another post, and we will put those files there on some just really good core. It's all body weight. You don't have to go to a gym. These are great things you can do while you're quarantining. So there you go. All right. So next, we've got our nice core.
We have a question.
Yes. Okay. We got a question.
Any advice for increasing distance? I seem to be in a rut between 3 and 5 miles.
Increasing distance in a rut between 3 and 5 miles. I would say slow down. A lot of our problem is we run too fast. I'm not sure if that's the issue there, but there's been a lot of studies, and this guy Art Lydiard was doing this stuff back in the 60s down in New Zealand, and he had his 1 mile Olympic distance athletes running 20 miles on their long run day. They weren't running fast. They were running really slow. That's where the term jog came from. Just go out and have a conversational, long, slow distance run. That's the best way to build up your endurance for faster running, for faster races, is just go out for a nice, slow jog. They call it LSD, long, slow distance, right? So it's just a long, slow distance, and I don't know, and again, maybe it could be that pacing thing, and a lot of people have struggled with, getting to mile 2. It's because they're running their first mile too fast, right? Make your first mile your slowest mile, okay? So play around with some things like that. A lot of times speed can make that difference. Strengthening as well. The more you strengthen, and that'll be that sheet that we'll add to it, is the more you strengthen, the more you'll have, the greater muscle capacity you'll have to be able to use in those longer miles. A lot of these things are about strengthening, so they're lower reps. So I believe that can help you get that longer distance that you're looking for. Okay? Is there a follow-up or anything? Okay, good deal. All right, so we're going to move on to, and I think you'll find by using some of these form techniques, you'll find that it's easier to go longer because you're more efficient. Okay, so that might be another idea for you to break that 3 to 5 mile barrier. We're going to move on, and we're going to go out here, so we're going to move around a little bit. So I'll talk, and Josie will walk. But so what we're going to do is we're going to do the third P, which is going to be our position. And what I mean by position is how we're going to position our feet underneath us when we run. Okay, so we're going to position our feet underneath us, not out in front of us. Okay, so we've got this idea of jog that, okay, I know what running is, I know what walking is, jogging somewhere in between, right? So I'm not going to go as fast. Hate loud muffling. I'm not going to go as fast as I would if I was actually running. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slow it down, but I'm going to take my walk and make my walk like a little faster, right? So walking is this, right? And then we take this idea of, okay, I'm just going to walk a little faster, right? That's very inefficient. I kind of felt it in my bad knee when I did that. That hurts. So we want to be more efficient than that. So striking underneath us, taking shorter steps, shorter strides, is going to help us keep better form and be more efficient, because we don't want to stay on the ground a long time in between steps, right? We want to be quicker. The ground's not going anywhere. It's not moving. If you're on the treadmill, you're cheating. Just a hint. It's spring. It's beautiful. We're in shorts and tights. Okay. But so what you want to do is you want to just be quick up and down off the ground, right? You don't want to stay there a long time because the ground's not moving. You are. So don't stay in a fixed position, or don't spend a lot of time with a fixed surface, right? So the way we're going to learn to do this, the position, so how do we get our feet, how do we teach our bodies to get our feet underneath us? We have a sitting problem. So we got a lot of muscles through here that are shortened. So because they're shortened, we want to keep them short, right? Instead of trying to lengthen them back here, okay? So we've got to work. Where do we want our feet to go? So that's the key. Where do we want our feet to go? We want our feet to go behind us and then strike. Yes, the knee's going to drive forward, but when it does, do we kick out in front with our heel, or do we land underneath us, shortening that stride, right? So what Josie's going to do is she's going to get in a good posture first. Feel that cable up your head, good and tall. And now she's just going to start lifting her feet back. These are called butt kicks, right? So you're trying to get your heel up as high as you can, close to your butt, getting those butt kicks going. Again, this is a different that are moving in. They're not moving out in front of her, they're behind, right? And then she can start doing those faster. Right. So see, still a good posture, good up straight. Notice how her feet are landing. Is she landing heel or toe first? It's a trick question. She should be landing full foot, and I believe she is. She's such a good student. That's why I hired her. No, but anyway. And so as she's doing this, then we're going to add in the pivot. And as she pivots from the ankles, she begins to move forward. Okay, this is not how we're going to run. Okay, I just want to justify that the run's not going to be some kind of thing like this. Okay, so it's going to be, I know one of my other employees is back here and he's dying laughing. So it's not going to be that. This is just take a break, take a deep breath. You're not going to run like this. So this is a drill. As you drill, it teaches muscles. It retrains your muscles what to do. It retrains your body what to do. Because if we've constantly been here, quad dominant out in front of us, this is going to feel really weird for a while, okay? You just need to practice that. Just go back and forth, just like Josie did there. And just practice having those legs move behind you, and then allow that lean forward to take you forward just like she did.
Go over landing again. Go over landing.
The landing part. So, landing is, and I know a lot of times when you practice this, landing can feel like when you first do these, you can feel like you're landing up here on your toes, right? So that's not hold that for me. That's not the etiquette that we want to have with our landing. Okay, so it's not this toe landing. So our landing is going to be full foot. But here's the thing. Even if you land on your toes first, as you come down and you land on your toe, just allow that heel to come down and settle, okay? Instead of staying on your toe and lighten up your calves, right? We don't want to run with the calves. Those are the small muscles. These are the big muscles. So we allow that heel to just rest. It takes that pressure off our lower legs and transfers that energy to here, to where we have to use these muscles to get us moving forward. These are the big muscles again.
I have something to add. So a lot of times, if people are having trouble with landing,
I tell them to take off their shoes and just practice doing that same drill there just without your shoes on, or practice running without your shoes on, because you're not going to be able to land improperly without shoes on. So,
Very good point. Great point. So the landing, number one, it's not a matter of heel or toe. It's a matter of, are we landing underneath us versus out in front of us? Okay? So we want to make sure that our landing is underneath us, underneath our bodies. Okay? So with that, what you can do, Josie, come back. So this time Josie is going to start off doing some high butt kicks, but then she's going to bring her arms in, and real quick with the arms, you want to be at 90 degrees, okay, with your arms. So notice she's at a 90-degree angle, and then it's a push back. So she's just going to push back and then relax, and they come forward, okay? So you don't want to cross your center of mass, and you don't want to carry a beach ball, okay? So, and you're not milking cows, okay? This is not arm swing, okay? This is milking cows, I guess, all right? So that's the best way I know to describe it. So you want to allow your arms to swing from the shoulders, okay? So we're just swinging from the shoulders, just keeping everything nice and loose here. You don't want to have any tension here. You want to drop your shoulders. There you go. Good, good. She was kind of holding them up here. So she got them down here. She dropped her shoulders, and she's allowing her arms just to swing, right? So what she'll do is she'll start off the same butt kick, and then she's going to allow the butt kick to die down, and then she's going to be another loud muffler. Now, yeah, loud down, die down, good. Yeah, swing your arms, swing your arms. Good arm swing, yeah. So the higher the kick, the faster you're going, right? The lower the kick, as you can see there, she's going a little faster. So it's loud muffler morning on McDonald Parkway. We got some loud folks out this morning. Everybody's tired of being cooped up. I understand that. So that's why we're doing this, because we want to get you out running. We want you running with better form, better posture. Experiment with these things. You're not going to get it your very first time. It's not going to happen. But if you slowly start incorporating these, and when the virus breaks, I guess we can say that. So once we figure all that stuff out, come down to the store. We do these every other Saturday, and we'll list them on Facebook. We'll have them on our website as to when we're going to do these. So come down and join us, and we'd love to have you. It's free. We never charge for these. We just want you to experience what it feels like to run more naturally, run the way we were supposed to. There's a book called Born to Run, I believe, for that very reason, right? So, any other questions?
Breathing tips.
Breathing tips. Breathing is important. You must do it to run. I'm just kidding. Yeah, so with breathing, find a rhythm. The body, the heart runs in a rhythm. Your body's rhythmic. Some have said you want an odd number, which means, every 2 strides, breathe in, and then 3 strides, breathe out, or vice versa. So in 3, out 2. So that could be one. Or if you're just trying to survive, another part. If you're just trying to survive, just be rhythmic about it. Just do something. Don't be sporadic, in this type thing. So find a rhythm that works for you. Number one. Number two, a lot of times what happens is you're running too fast, too soon. So you take off, it feels good. It's a morning like this morning, and you're like, oh, this is glorious, and you just take off because you feel good. Well, half mile down the road, you can't breathe. Happens to us all. So many times that happens. Be disciplined. Start your first mile off slower than slow. Go slower than you thought you would ever go, right? And so we want to be very slow in our first mile, or very slow in our first little bit, and find that rhythm. It's going to take you a minute to get that rhythm, going from cold to now exercising and running. So a lot of times it can have to do with speed. Other times, just find your rhythm. The only way you're going to find that rhythm is if you do start off a little slower in your running. Anything else?
Do you push forward with the hips?
Do we push forward with the hips? So, I'm not sure about that question, but I will answer it this way. When your foot lands underneath you, yes, your hip is going to drive you forward. Absolutely. So
You should feel it in your glutes.
yes, you should feel it more in your glutes. If you go out for a really good run and you're feeling it in your quads, but not as much in your glutes, you're not allowing yourself to push off. You don't want to push off with your calves, right? But you want to push off in this vector to where we are using the back chain. So yes, if your hamstrings, your glutes are getting a little sore, that's a good thing. One of the exercises they say to do for runners, one of the coaches told me one time, runners cannot do enough lunges. Lunges are the bomb. They work those glutes. Did some this week and I'm still sore. So work on those glutes by working on those lunges. And yes, that is a great way to build. You're leaning forward anyway, so as you propel yourself forward, yes, you're going to use your glutes.
What would you suggest for quick first step for basketball?
What would I suggest?
For quick first step for basketball.
First step, ball, genetics. That's all I got.
Tips for 10K training.
What's that?
Glute strength.
Glute strength, yeah. What's that?
10K training.
10K training. That's something. So tell you what, send me a private message. I can send you something. Yes, the biggest 10K in the world is getting ready to happen, right? July. I pray that it still happens. That we'll be over this by then. We will have some training runs here at the store for Peachtree. So we'll be starting up Tuesday and Thursdays here when we can gather again. So we look forward to that. But yes, whoever sent that, send me a private message, and I'd be happy to give you some training plans on how to make that 10 possible.
Okay, does this posture position work for quick running such as basketball? That's what.
Yes, yes, it can. Yeah. So I mean, if you're really when you do your exercising outside of basketball and you're running, really work on keeping that core tight. I would do a ton of lunges. I would also do a lot of explosive type things, box jumps, deadlifts. Yes, exactly. So there's a lot of good things that you can do to be quicker on the basketball court. But yes, incorporating some of these things can definitely help. Yes. So, all right. Glad everybody made it. We enjoyed teaching you this morning, getting out here. Come see Josie at the store or myself when we can all gather again. And we look forward to seeing you soon. Take care. Run healthy.